Hey there, Cancer, it's Viv. Welcome to your week ahead reading for the 30th of July through to the 5th of August 2018. I'm using the Modern Spellcasters Tarot, and it's an 8-card spread, so one card that is the overall energy for the reading, and then one card for each day of the week, Monday through Sunday. There was another card that fell out of the deck while I was shuffling, and I've put that to one side and I'll come to that in a moment. Okay, so let's dive I was going to say let's dive on in with the central energy for the week, but I am drawn to the card that fell out, so let's start with this. It's the Ace of Swords. In this deck, swords are about fire. In other decks, swords can, they point to the mental realm, they point to truth. But this is, when I look at this, the thing that leaps out at me is, it feels like there is, I've got that Adele song coming, there's an Adele song coming, the lyrics, there's a fire burning in my soul. I think it's from Rolling in the Deep. I'm not quite sure, but I think it's Rolling in the Deep. But there is something going on with you, Cancer, that has been burning deep inside you for a long time. And it almost feels like frustration here. There's like I want something. You want something really, really bad. And it's it is like a deep burning desire. I was going to say it's cutting deep. It's coming from deep within, and that kind of that imagery is reflected in the Judgment card, which is the central energy for the week. It's like, look at this. There's a fire that's been lit underneath this cauldron. Then there's these two people, they're obviously, they're in the cauldron, they're heated up, they're all hot and bothered. But the figure there, it feels to me very much like the figure saying, come on then, do your worst. What have you got in store for me? I am just, whatever, bring it on. I'm up for it. The card is normally, Judgment can be about, it can be about forgiveness. But it can also be about, things resurrecting, things coming back to life. So it can indicate an ending. Kind of after a long period of time as well, that it feels like there's something coming to an end. But as things come to an end, then there's renewal, there's rebirth, there's new life. But it does feel like this figure is sort of like opening herself up like this to the, I'm saying herself, well, yeah, herself up to the powers of the universe and going, well, come on then, do your worst, just bring it on, because I'm up for it. I'm up for it. As we start the week though, Cancer, we've got the Eight of Swords, and again, look, there's that fire in the background. There's something deep inside that's burning, and this would appear to be all manner of insecurity. The Eight of Swords there is a situation that's been created and played out in your imagination. The figure here is bound up around his legs, he's bound up around his shoulders, but his hands aren't tied. He's holding them as if they are tied. But his hands are free to take off this blindfold. It's like you're not seeing, you're definitely not seeing the possibility in this situation. and to you it feels like that there's maybe no hope of, although it's something that you want, and it's held deeply within, it feels like you think at the beginning of the week that there's no hope. But this is, it is just in your imagination. I think opening yourself up to possibility, opening yourself up with the influence of the Judgment card to, to letting go of all of this insecurity and release, and just kind of going, come on, bring it on. I'm ready for this. I think by the time we move into Tuesday, we've got the Temperance card here, and so it's a card of reserve. It's a card where our mind and our emotions are much more in balance. So the balance has been regained, the balance is renewed, the balance is revived, which is the influence of the Judgment card. It's like I say, it's a card of reserve. It can be a card of communication, but it's not going over the top. It's a card of just doing enough, just saying enough. It's a card of not going mad. It's a card of it can indicate silence, actually. It's a card of holding back. It's a card of not getting carried away. And this feels very much, it's like, if this is coming from your wisdom, if this feels like the right thing to do, holding yourself back and being reserved really helps to move the situation forward. It feels like space is being created, rather than you trying to take a sort of like a King of Swords position, if you like, and get a tight grip on the situation and exert your control over the situation. It's like, it does feel like you're surrendering to the influence and the powers of the universe. It's like, come on then, maybe you're asking for help from the universe. You're opening yourself up there and going, help me out with this. This is something that I really want. And it's like, once and for all, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? It's like, I'm one way or the other. But the influence of this Temperance, I think, is creating space for things to move forward. And it does feel like they jump forward. So midweek, it feels like there's movement positively in the direction that you want, because the day after we have the Star card, and this is a deeply held wish and desire coming true. Obviously, you can't just have the desire and hope that it's going to come true. Action has to be taken. It's kind of like, you have to communicate. You have to show up. You have to put yourself out there. You have to put yourself forward. But you also, you do that with confidence, in the belief that it will turn out, that it will work out, that things will, it almost feels like. No, I don't know why this is occurring to me, but I'm just going with it because this is what is occurring to me. It feels like, there's like a ship. When a ship is sailing and it changes course, right? You can put in the course correction, and if you want to turn it round like 90 degrees, or you want to turn it right round 180 degrees or so, you can make the course correction, but then it takes ages for the ship to turn round, you know. And the influence of the Temperance card and this sort of influence of the Judgment card, you know, surrendering to what you want, but kind of surrendering to letting nature take its course as well. This Temperance is creating the space for this movement to happen, but the Star card is like, you know, have faith in the process, because there are new beginnings here. I think you had the Ace of Cups last time, I think, so there's definitely potential here for something, for renewal, for something new to start, something completely new, or the revival of I'm saying revival. Well, yeah, revival. It's like it feels like a strongly long-held desire, and there's the sun is behind it, you know, so there's power, there's warmth, there's inspiration and growth here. There's lots of potential here, and lots of optimism here. As we move to the weekend, I think there's this is the Seven of Cups, and so this is all of your hopes and desires, you know, all of the things that, because it's not just the one thing that you want, there are several things that you want, you know, but there is something that is one particular thing that is, it feels like that's extremely important to you, and that's the thing above all that you want to work out more than anything else. And this card, it feels like this card, with the influence of the Judgment and all the other cards around it, it feels like this card is saying, you know, pick a dream, pick a desire, and go with it. You know, have faith, and go with it. The card at the bottom, Sunday's card, is the King of Wands, and he's very successful. It's an indicator of action well taken. He's like a very successful businessman. He's a very powerful person. He's very understanding. He's got a really deep understanding of how people work. He's got a very deep understanding of the nature of all things, you know, the environment and people. So he's got great perspective, he's got great wisdom. This feels like secure knowledge. It feels like secure knowledge, and it feels like by the time you get to the end of the week, that even though you started off a bit up in your head and thinking, oh, I'm not really sure about this, you know, that you are on much firmer, much more solid ground, much more grounded, much more secure, knowing that you are in tune with your wisdom, and that this situation, there is every chance for it to be successful. The card at the bottom of the deck is the Queen of Pentacles, and when I look at this card, it looks like she's holding on to this pentacle, nurturing it and nursing it and looking after it. She's very nurturing. This is something that's really important to her, and she's holding on to it, and because it is important. It is really important. Don't give up, Cancer, is what I feel. You know, surrender to the forces of the universe, the power of the universe. Have faith in the process and don't give up. I think you know what's right. You know what's right for you. So I think you can trust your inner guidance. Okay, there we go. Those are the messages for this week. I hope you found that useful and that it resonated. Recording the monthlies at the moment, so I hope to get those up soon. But I will have another weekly next time. So until then, thanks for tuning in and take care.